For 16 years, we've been building a site that's been called innovative, insightful, and informative. Now there's a new name for it. We're now NBCNews.com.
Giselle Esteban readily admitted she killed her friend Michelle Lay. But she claimed it was in the heat of the moment. She was angry, provoked by Michelle. The defense, which in a way blamed Michelle for her own death. To friends and family sitting in the courtroom, the strategy seemed outrageous. And yet, after the jury had been out 4 long days, they all worried that it worked.
I was wondering if the jury sat in the same trial that I sat in.
We were going crazy. We were really afraid that either they felt sympathy for the defendant because she is a woman, or that she has children, or you never know.
By the 5th day, we were thinking, what if they let her off easy?
And then finally on the 5th day, the jury announced they were ready. There could be no acquittal. Their choices were first-degree murder or voluntary manslaughter, a verdict that could have Esteban back on the street before she's 40.
I remember our hearts were just pounding. We were being lined up. And we sat down and we saw the jury walk in. And a couple of them, like, you can just tell on their faces that they were exhausted. They looked exhausted. And we were just all holding hands in the front row. They're all shaking. And you can see Butch, and he was just up there. It's like hands in his head, and all of us just praying. And then we heard guilty of murder first. I burst right into tears. And there's that feeling was just so indescribable, how much relief was there.
17 months after Michelle Lay went missing, after endless searches, a relentless investigation, a tense trial, finally an end, the search for Michelle and for justice was over.
One of the things I was so angry about was that nothing made sense. Nothing made sense. Why did it have to happen to Michelle? And so I think the verdict brought reason, like a sense of someone committed a murder, they will pay for the crime.
It's just as awful as it was, and the loss is just as great, but the world is back on its axis, or something like that.
In some way, yeah.
How was it to get that verdict? What was it like?
In one word, relief.
What did your grandmother say?
She asked, how is Michelle's family doing? Because I had talked to her about what a great family they were. I have nothing but respect for that family. And they had faith in the process, and more than anything, I appreciated that they had faith in me.
The Lay family's uncommon grace and dignity and determined togetherness infected many of the families that stood with them during those dark months.
They were able to do what a lot of other families have never been able to do, and that's rally around each other in a time of great need, to prop each other up.
Michael and Christine now volunteer with Mark Klass's organization, most recently helping to coordinate the search in the case of a teenager kidnapped near San Jose, their way to honor Michelle. Michelle, who still refuses somehow to leave them.
She mainly comes in dreams, and it's so real that it feels like her. And she won't say a thing. She'll just give me a hug or something. I would flip out. I'd be like, Michelle, where the heck have you been? We had this huge thing where we thought you were gone, you know? And she laughed and she said, I'm fine.
And Michael, when he and Michelle were little, they begged their mother to tell them the old Vietnamese folk tale of the woman in the moon who protects and watches over them. The tale is very real now for Michael Lay.
I feel like they're always watching me. And, you know, at the very least, I like to believe that, you know, my sister's with my mom finally, and that, you know, they're together and You know, it's not my time yet, but I just can't wait to see them again.